So, Dave, I read your recent paper on exploring new domains within pediatric audiology. It's a very interesting read. What was your inspiration?
Well, thank you. I'm glad you found it interesting. And really, when thinking about a wave 2 of evidence, we had this fantastic first wave with Dr. Andrea Pittman providing this fantastic study. That the second part was really about looking at new areas of pediatric amplification that really could be very interesting for those that are fitting children with hearing devices. And so the inspiration came from really building on others' work that is relatively new when we look at hearing aid fittings, getting inspiration from clinicians and some of the challenges that they might face, and then from my own personal experiences, some really interesting observations I had when completing previous research studies.
Yes, because you have 3 research studies in here, and they all occupy themselves with areas that we all talk about, but we actually have very little research on them.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the study you did with auditory acclimatization, that's been a hot topic throughout all of the years that I have been within pediatric audiology. This has been something that people have talked about. Can you tell me why do you think it's so important to do a study specifically on this?
Well, I think to start, there is very little research when we think about children and auditory acclimatization. I did a quick literature review. A lot of the research had been completed on adults, but children as well. Clinicians may be fitting them with a different manufacturer's hearing aid. And I think that clinical process isn't really well defined. And so what I've observed is some clinical audiologists will just do a try and see approach. They will program the hearing aid, put it on and say, how does that sound? And honestly, sometimes it goes well, and then other times it doesn't go so well. So I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could talk to some kids and from them understand what are the areas we need to address to be a little bit more methodical with addressing this.
Yeah. So how did you go about it?
Well, we decided to, as this being exploratory, talk to some teenagers who were longtime users of a pediatric hearing aid from a competitor. And to begin, we just wanted to know from them, if you're going to get a hearing aid from a different manufacturer, tell us, what do you want to know? So when we looked at the transcripts from the interviews, we saw that there were 3 themes that emerged. The need to set expectations, the need to have information, and the need to show opportunity with this new hearing device. So for example, for setting expectations, the kids in this study said, if the device is going to sound weird when you activate it, just tell me, it's going to be weird. And this is really helpful for them because they don't know what to expect. They also wanted information to know why you as an audiologist, why are you picking this particular hearing aid for me? And what have been the other experiences from other kids who have used it? And then in terms of opportunities, they wanted to know, is there an opportunity for me to hear better in different environments that are important to me? Am I going to be able to hear my music better? And can I talk on the phone with quality that's maybe enhanced?
Yeah, so why are you picking this hearing aid for me? What do you believe I will gain from getting this? This all makes quite a lot of sense when you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand from the white paper that the teens were actually wearing PlayPX as part of this research. Just out of curiosity, how long did it take them to acclimatize?
Yeah, so they were all fit with PlayPX at the start of the appointment. After we had this discussion, and I did tell them it's going to sound weird, and sure enough, all of them said it does sound weird. You're right. And I think what's interesting to know is that hearing technology is strongly connected to these individuals' confidence for communication. So it's not surprising that they're a little nervous. But what was really great is that through this process of this experiment is that we had them in the sound booth doing some very typical outcome measures with speech and noise testing. We paired the phone, their smartphone, to their hearing aids. They listened to their favorite song. We engaged in a phone call. And by the end of it, all of them said that the sound quality had changed for them, that they really liked it, and that they wanted to continue using those hearing aids, which was fantastic.
Oh, that's nice to hear.